Welcome back, Joe Gibson. How many episodes has our cleric been absent? Well, let's check everyone's wounds, shall we? No. We have our 10-minute orc. Because like every 10 minutes, Doug's like, "Can I refocus? Has it been 10 minutes? Can we time out this combat, please?" You know.
I think we had Joe last episode. He helped keep us standing.
We actually did, but we've been doing other shows. So. Yeah, no, listening back to the last episode, you guys had defeated the tiger people. The and we're going through their stuff, and you guys were talking about bulk, how All's bulk shadow went from 4 to 12 bulk, and he's got the striking kukuri off of the animal people, and everyone was checking about gear and all this kind of thing. The pressing issue, besides, we'll say Neuros steps out for a moment to see off our Halfling Bellflower Network investigator. Doesn't like how this is going. Like, no one said they were outsiders. Get it? The Rakashasara, you know. Getting involved. This is sort of an update. So he says he's got to make a call with his kite sticking out of his backpack, right? So he goes out on the roof and he wants to make a call. And he says he'll catch up with you guys because you guys, one of the things on your list, one of the safe houses that we had initially signaled was a finishing school for girls. And that was our next place to rush off to. And you guys were talking about the proverbial 10 to 40 minute rest for some focus points versus I was hinting at the bad idea, which was the 4-hour rest. And now that we're all caught up, it's time for some logos. I'm joining the Salvation Army. Yeah, I'm getting off the roads. I drove for FedEx for 4 years, 3.5 years, was their night sort supervisor in-house for 6 months. Drove for APT, Aspen Peterbilt Transport, for the last 5 weeks. And it was good money. My boss came out of nowhere, just gave me a raise going, "You're doing a great job. Here's more money." You know, and it was kind of a please stay because there's no benefits with this job. You know, and then I went to the periodontist. And it's like, without benefits. It's like, "Oh, I need a new job." No, as it was, an old interview that I had around the same time called up like 2 weeks late. You know, we'll call you by this date. So I, wrote him off. And we want to hire you for this position and blah, blah, blah. And, so I'm going to be driving to Mattstown from Peterborough to Fenland an hour every day and working in Fenland Falls where Matt lives. Get you that blue fedora. Yeah. For 6 weeks training. And then I'll be, they're opening a brand new building, air conditioning, all the luxuries of charity. And a supervisor there. So working for one of the world's greatest since World War One, not actually World War II, I think it was World War One, charity institutions that actually put the money towards a charity. It's I'm not gonna say it's a feather in my cap. I'm not gonna say anything, but if it doesn't prove that I'm not a nice DM, then I don't know what does. Love me, damn it. So you guys are currently, let's have a look at the map of Kintargo. Okay. Down in Kintargo, Kentargo, Key Lago. Baby, why don't you go where the hell's fun? You can't give Joe 5 minutes without mentioning our Star Wars game, you poor guy. Which he got wrote out. Joe's played 3 characters of the Star Wars campaign, and we just wrote out his 3rd guy due to lack of attendance. The first character was compromised by alien AI and went over to the electronics of AI, but stole our ship, stole the Archelon, Katroc 720. Well, you might see it again. Second character was hanging out with Corey's guy, Rami Gilligar, the four-armed Lando, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian to Oberys's, Lando Calrissian, Han Solo kind of guy, and ran off with the Hutt's yacht. Remember that, right? And Star Wars. He's looking very purple in the video. He's looking very purple in that video. Looking very purple. And his third character has been given the very important mission of taking a prisoner back to the Resurgence, because he has 4 arms and that guy couldn't possibly escape.
To a gnome body in the first place?
They cast a reincarnation spell on you.
Well, does that work on the living?
Ooh, that's
would be
really interesting question, sir.
Oh my God, Ryan just invented like D&D cloning. Let's look into that. You imagine
There
a whole
we
bunch
go.
of Neuros? He'd be the whole band, one for the drum set, one for the keyboards.
Oh no, a Muros of every race.
It would be funny. I think like reincarnation works, but it does kill you first.
Yeah, it's true.
It's called Power Word Kill, but
Yeah, no, he's right. It is a soul transfer. Like, your brains and juice go from one, like your body, although still intact, has got no remnant of soul or anything in it, and it's getting trucked up the mountain. Now, if they took that body and resurrected you, that would be a question of like the spell would just fail because technically your soul won't or can't come back. There's a lot of fine print that usually they just gloss over, going GM's discretion. But a conversation that I don't know. I think we should dig into that right now. No, okay.
Are there feats that would allow you to like permanently maintain your wild shape?
Oh, he
none
talked
that I'm
about wild
aware of.
shaping.
Permanent. Okay, high level druid, not accessible to me. Yes.
Okay.
Not permanently, but quite close to indefinite.
Okay.
Yeah. Because again, with the whole archetype thing, you're allowed up to like level 10 is kind of where you peak for the adopted archetypes. But druids of higher than 10 have access to some pretty cool things.
I know we're not supposed to break the rule, Joe, but I love how 2 of our biggest Star Wars fans are in the chat right now watching our biggest Pathfinder show because Joe's here.
Hey.
Yeah.
They missed me in the other one.
Yeah.
Every shot so far.
I found
he talks too much.
one of the guys when APT goes to Pure Letter where I do my run, one of the guys there is a big comic book fan. I got to talk to him, gave out the card that we have the Star Wars logo and the Pathfinder logo either side, and check this out kind of thing, right? Spamming that around. And he wants to know what time we play, what time we stream. So we might actually have some extra chat to discuss. But as always, Explosion, King of First, Zeke, you guys are always welcome and appreciated. Now, I know this is recorded for a podcast, but I really don't edit out the live stream banter. If we talk about what my brother said or whatever, I leave it in. One thing
Now,
is
what his
because,
sister says, that is completely edited.
well, yeah. Anyway, so just to catch Ryan up to speed,
Please.
Drew's character is on the roof making a phone call because these tiger people, the Rekisa, these outsiders, they seem to be there for a reason. Like they were left over from the raid. Now, either they're part of Scarlet Triad or hired on help. We don't know, but he's updating the Bellflower network, and he said he'll catch up to you guys because you
said you made a phone call. I'm like, how long have I been gone?
How many years? With his kite, old school with the kite.
Oh yeah, kite battles.
Yeah, no, yeah. So Muros went out there to like help him make the phone call, going, no, I'm your punctuation.
Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
You'll be the dot, I'll be the dash. Yeah. And Muros, you come in back inside, dejected because our investigator.
My help was denied.
Well, no. It's just you guys need to get to the next safe house. They were hit simultaneously. And we've only checked out, one to the other. So checking out the big map here, if you guys are on the north wall, way at the top of the map, at the Long Roads Coffee House. Excuse me while I ping the map. Yeah, I know this is really helpful for a podcast.
Right
the
here,
city,
the
city itself is basically a Play-Doh moshed on a couple corners with thumbprints rectangle. And right up the left side is the Uliblis River. And then in the top quarter, down from the top, the river cuts in to the right and down and sweeps through and ekes out and then becomes sort of the wall itself. All along the west side, dribbles out the bottom to the right. Where that river cuts in on a peninsula of the lower side, the 2/3 bigger side of the city, is Castle Cantargo. Where you guys are, on the north side, there's a ring of a wall that has special places like the counting house, and then the rest with the market and places we've already been. The Lady Docur's School for Girls isn't far from this position. It's actually across or around or through the park with a little lake in it. If you guys see here, it's not far away.
Why does it sound like he's encouraging us to go to that?
Let's go there.
Because we're supposed to go there.
Let's go there.
That's the plan, man.
You don't have to go anywhere.
Well, I'm just saying, didn't a Marvel episode happen here?
No.
Cool.
You got.
Oof.
So, a large gust of wind, and out the window we see that our young investigator has been swept off the roof, and he just trails off to these going, I'll meet you there.
No, he wanted to make the exclamation point by himself. This dirty, rotten scoundrel.
Well, the problem is he took your kite off of you, and now he's got too much lift. He was so mad at you, he swipes your kite off you. He's got two, and guess what happens? Wah! Off he goes.
Two kites and a halfling cannot exist.
Yeah. It's an equation for distance traveled versus time from your math book, right? All right. So, you guys have looted the bodies. You're ready to head off, right?
Yeah, let's go.
I believe so, yeah.
All right. It's time for a moment with Messina because we're going theater of the mind. No map for this.
You wanted my mind or your mind? Yours is probably safer.
Everyone's mind. Picture this. Lady Docur's School for Girls. The curiously shaped building is made of Cantargo's typically silver-streaked pale stone, but is covered in sinuous carvings of vines, trees, and flowers. Narrow windows punctuate these carvings, adding to the distinct look in a way that invokes Elven architecture. Blah, blah, blah. 5 doors, shaped like narrow Gothic arches, form the building's entrance. They almost resemble the portal arches, in a way. In ornate letters carved above the doors, in both Elvish and Common, 2 sayings. Does anyone speak Elvish?
Kinda.
I do.
Was that like you took some Elven in school, or you dated an elf chick once? What?
It was a mandatory in grade 9.
Back when we were doing the...
Oh, that's so good. Ryan, you get a hero point for that, and I'll explain the very Canadian joke later. You were saying, Joe?
Back in book 2, was it? The forest and the elven-ish people.
Yes.
Yeah, because they spoke elven, but it's not elven.
Oh,
picked their
right.
So that's why I say kinda.
Yes, and
I can't remember what it's called.
I just speak the Elvish. So what does it
Okay.
say?
It is the same thing, both in common and in Elvish. Lady Docur's. I'm trying not to say Dooku. Lady Docur's.
I hear you struggle, brother. I hear you struggle.
Lady
Not coup.
Lady Dooku. Dooku comes out and drag. Hello. Salutes you with that.
Say it with a French accent. Lady Docur.
Lady Docur School for Girls.
Isn't that just Saruman?
Oh my God!
Drag?
Damn, I'm going to give you a hero point too, because there's no way you're going to get it. The earlier Canadian joke. Oh. I know what. Why is Jeff giving out? For human? No, come on. That was both good. We got to explain Ryan's joke. When we're in school, because technically an entire state, as you call it, but not the 51st, an entire province, as we call it, Quebec, is French, because we couldn't oust them when we kicked American ass in 1812. Long story. Too soon? They make you take French in school. It's not like, do you want to learn Spanish, as the Americans do, blah, 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 because the Hispanic down south. It's got to be French. And it's French Canadian, which is not what they speak in France. If you ran around trying to speak French, hiding amongst the French in World War II, speaking French Canadian, you would be killed. The Germans would be like, that's not French, and they would shoot you. So it was just the French quarter right here. I don't know. It's a Canadian joke. So Ryan, I'm going to make Ryan spend his hero point in only a comedic situation. If you do something funny, like acrobatically funny or crazy, that's the only time you spend that. Spend that.
You said a curriculum which I can concur to.
Yes, yeah. Now, as Doug, it's the same actor, right? Like the guy that plays Saruman is the guy that it's Christopher Lee, plays Count Dooku. So that was so smooth, and that's like a geeky joke that everybody gets. Because now everyone's like, what, Saruman was gay? No, it was, it's the same actor. It's a longer hair. All right. I'm not going to get that out of my head anytime soon.
Seriously, your hero points have fine print on them, Ryan.
I know. It's terrible. Sorry.
It's the TOD terms of agreement.
Remember the good old days when I was just very literal?
Click the box to get the hero point to go into this.
Well, it is time for everyone's hero points to reset. So if you have 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, they all go back to 1.
I'm going to give you all a hero point then. And now
did you get a hero point and then reset them, Jeff? Did you just give us hero points and then reset them? Is that what you just did?
No.
Okay.
Bringing up hero points. Don't tempt me, Baldwin. Bringing up hero points made me think, it is time to reset. So Ryan has. It's like 4.1.5. Yeah, Ryan's got
one has
1,
a condition applied to it.
Well, I just think it
may apply.
Yes. And if there's ever a scenario where Doug's character is trying to see through a disguise or make one himself, you can hang on to that one, right? That's not a bad idea. Like giving out some kind of point that it's almost like XP in the experience of this is, and you can spend it later, but it has to be a similar scenario. I think we might be onto something there, lads. It's a lot of bookwork that no one's really going to want to do in the real world or this way.
Yeah.
So,
oh, damn, that's a tracking nightmare.
We'll allude to that work, Jeff, and we'll just pub it behind the curtain.
all right.
But that's an
Ignore the man button, the rules behind the curtain.
For like a role play system to add something like that,
Yeah.
like deja vu points or something.
Well, we always talked about making Saga Plus or just maybe doing a homebrew of this. Doug, you recently announced, thanks to all the cameos you've done with us in Rollmongers, because we brought you on for Star Wars, but here you are playing Pathfinder, that you actually might run Pathfinder at your own table at home as a GM. You're one of our rules lawyers now. You're quick to dig in. Were you kidding about that? Like, have you got a Pathfinder game going home?
No, I mean, I will. I've told my group that when we get done playing Star Wars, I will probably, if I'm GM, I would run a Pathfinder 2 game.
Okay.
So
because
we got to get through chapter 10 before. So we have a couple of weeks at least.
we brought Joe Davis back into the chair, running Savage Worlds and having a lot of fun with that. And like I don't mind branching out other shows or whatever, and letting you have a go. If you actually want to try your try to revive Wild Alliance that we shelved and maybe DM that first time DM. Here's a 5th level campaign.
I think I will. I'm going to run mine first for a while before I take it on as a GM.
All right. An additional label, there is a smaller label written in both languages from north to south above each door. One says deliveries, one says parents, one says pupils, one says instructors, and the last one says visitors. A braided silver cord hangs next to each door. What do you do?
Up to the visitor one.
Okay. Yep, it says visitors both in common and Elvish.
And you said silver chain?
Silver cord, like
Cord.
that braided. It's usually gold in the movies. It's like a silken fabric that they tightly weave, but because it's braided, they call it a cord. Yeah.
Give it a tug.
Okay. Can I have a perception check from everyone in the tower, please?
To see if you're watching him tugging it?
No. To see if you perceive the result. If you see the gas escape from the lower vent, the arrow slots overhead.
This is getting even worse.
Are we rolling in the tower?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. Ignore that.
that's fine.
All right.
I'll let you guys do that.
Tower. Where?
I don't think
tower.
I don't think I'll ever ask for a perception check that's not in the tower unless it's like initiative page 1.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
There we go. I got a number.
Okay. It's actually Vicar Niles. Your ears pick up the faint ringing noise through the door somewhere within the building. Luckily, in short order, a well-dressed half-elven woman who introduces herself as Arlethai Suminalia Saramon comes to the door and would like to know your business. Because now Matt is insisting that everyone here is French.
You like to be your...
Does that mean all the elves in this world are French? I mean, we could pull that off, right?
Oh.
No, it's kind of like making foot.
General direction.
Well, I just like we're playing
All the
dwarves.
dwarves are Scots. All the elves are French.
Why not? All the Twi'leks are French in New Star Wars.
That is true, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So ring, ring, ring. What is your business?
I actually got tick marks. It says Rule of Joe, and we're up to like 10 already, and we're like 20 minutes in. 10 minutes.
26 minutes in.
Extrapolating.
Yeah. Who's counting? Oh, he's true.
All right.
Joe's tracking me. That's usually Doug's job.
Doug gets a night off tonight.
Arlethi Somalia. By the look of it, Leslie Somalia answers the door, well dressed, half elvish. Asks your business.
Right then. Hello. I'm MalBurg Stone Sugar. And I've come to make sure all is well here in this wee school of girls you've got. A little bit of diplomacy.
She raises her. Yeah, I know. Eh? Check out your girls.
I also raised my eyebrow in suspicion.
yeah. Yeah. Al's trying to be diplomatic, and the gnome just shoves him like, dude, what are you? I don't know how old the girls
What's
are.
wrong with you, lad? Get your head straight.
He's been out of the dwarven body too long. He's starting to gain like sensibilities.
Grandma, have your head in the vice in 2 seconds. You heard that come into your mouth.
We are fine.
Do we know any Bellflower Network like passwords? Because this is a safe house, right?
Yeah.
The Chicky Poo.
Chicky poo. Chicky poo.
I don't. The whole halfling chick. I can't remember her name. That was a while ago.
Lara.
Yes. And our
Cross?
person who takes all the notes is not here.
Oh wait, we've got.
Oh, he
access
is.
to
There he
the
is. There he
notes.
goes. Look up. There he goes, floating over.
Okay.
Throw me a sandbag. Throw me a sandbag, guys. I'll come down.
Vic Manther and Zamora.
Society check with a high DC, or maybe an intelligence check to remember overhearing, something he said in your presence. Vicar Niles again.
Ah.
Their whole shtick to cover up the slave trade, railroad smuggling for freedom is a whole garden farming motif. You guys are, if you were in the Bellflower Network, your people you were smuggling would be called your crop.
Oh.
Right?
We're here to tend the crop? Like,
Yeah, that
I don't-
so much worse than what I said.
I'm just saying.
Hey, so glug, you want to go pound a few pints back at the pub while these two figure out
Well,
what's going on?
Are you saying that you can pound more pints than I can? Is that what you're saying to me, little Muros?
Yeah. A challenge.
What? I as long as people are safe, we should make sure that people are safe. before we get ourselves out.
Karam flies over. Stay in role play. Don't get into that.
Not safe.
It's not time for the two guys at the door shtick. Just, let Gibson have his moment. All right. Not having Karam with you for knowing the exact passcode with your high society trained, the motif is what I can give you. So you're going to have to role play, my man. Vicar, what would you ask and then just swap everything out for gardening and farming? Like, Al wants to say, we're here to make sure that you guys are, safe? Over 18? Like, what are you? What's the message? It's a message here, guys.
Well, I mean, they've been.
I'm not affiliated.
They've been infiltrated by the freaking slavers.
Triad?
The Triad, yeah.
Okay, so what would that be? What would the triad be to a crop?
Weeds.
blight.
And this feels like a trap.
Blight. Yeah, blight.
I got that my own. What's messages?
We're here about the blight problem. All right, so how would you guys word that carefully? You are the blight. You are the brute squad.
No,
We're looking
that's,
for the blight. Yeah.
Heard the crop is in a blight.
Have you had a
Okay.
rash of touchers lately? Touching your crop. You got a ripe tomato plant. You like 3 more days, and this thing will be plump as a flip. And then
All right.
someone goes and just grabs it off the vine.
The vicar gets her attention, like she wants to hear more, nodding, and Neuros, down a very different vein but the same code, is kind of putting her off. So now she
I'm a monk in the druid.
she does the thing where she takes a step back and half closes the door. Doesn't leave.
That was. I wanted to go and drink for the afternoon. They dragged me
Albert
here.
plays damage control, puts an arm around Neuros, leading him
An arm
away.
lower.
Why don't we let the vicar do the talking?
That's fine by me. Yeah, I thought you were looking for an analogy.
Neuros,
That
come
was
on
one I
over
thought.
here.
But I've got this funny hero point to spend.
We'll have a wee sip while we wait for the vicar to fit to.
Is this something for your new?
No, Doug, I don't want him to roll diplomacy with that angle and have him re-roll it and get a high roll and have her go, right. No, I don't want to do that. All right. Yeah. Go around the back door with the leather. No. All right.
Yeah, we need that electric guitar for the.
Yeah, almost there, Vicar. Alll manages to distract. Neros cancels out your first attempt.
Yeah.
I'd love the role playing. Yeah. Hey,
was my only
blame
one
him. They're
role
making it
play.
extra
Like,
hard. I know, and they're making it extra hard. So don't blame me, dude. They're helping.
I am here.
Third person, like just give me your message that you're trying to convey, and then throw some dice in the tower. That always works.
Blunt. Not as blunt as Moros, though.
Yeah. So trying to convey that you're on the Belfast network side, that you know about the Triad, and you want to know if they've infiltrated because that's the news of the day, and we're here to make sure things are safe, right?
Yeah. No,
All
I
right.
can just, yeah, or asking. Yeah, sure.
Oh, come on. It was right there. I know it's been a long day.
I was just thinking. Well, it has been a long day. It's only been 14 hours for me so far. Because I'm just thinking. Kite. Something with kite. Because that's the way they communicate.
No, that's good, man. You're sitting there
just
like, do you drink when you're nervous too? Like, you imagine him like going,
yeah.
just doing like, sir, something kite, something hoe, something rake. Don't touch the, sure. Give me a diplomacy check with a -2.
Negative.
Yeah, because you're so nervous. And these
Negative.
guys are 2 is kind. They've got some serious penalties in the future, and they're like, and give so and so a -2, and I'm like, oh come on, like that would be a huge penalty. Like -2 is Pathfinder's generic, so. Well, don't say -2
You want that in
because
the
you're
tower, or?
yeah, because you never know how good you do, right?
Here we go. In the tower with a -2.
Okay. That 2 bringing you down to a narrowly getting message across. Anyway, she leans in and says, "Are you turned Scottish there. Huh. Are you a bunch of new sprouts, or just someone walking by and admiring the garden?"
Well, admiring the garden.
Okay. Good answer. Because to say that you're new members of the
Because our
network.
spirits are the one that's flying. With the
We're thinking about planting, but All right. So, getting Neros out of the way. Oh, wow. Ryan really left his screen. Okay, that was good. Good work, Matt. Look at that. Ryan left the room. It's really good. Not mentioning any of the things that we were joking about. She leads you to an octagonal sitting room with comfortable divans and fragile-looking tables laden with refreshments. She invites you to help yourselves politely, sits you down, but standing like some kind of butler, asks quietly, but, we're enclosed, like we're in a private space, so you can kind of speak your mind openly. We won't, Niles is sweating. Oh, no more spy talking.
No,
blunt truth is my dogma. I don't understand this stuff. Yes. Asks you your business. You may speak openly.
Sent by. Does anybody remember the little halfling's name? Female halfling name?
Yes. I have it right here. Her name is Laria Longroad.
And we also know Nolly Pelly. And we also know Nolly Pelly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
right.
who we were sent by.
Okay.
To check on the crop.
And do you mention Karam, but he's because you had mentioned him before. I don't know if you were joking. You
he's
actually mentioned
trying to
Karam, but he's
messaging.
Okay.
Stuck
Okay.
in the cloud currently.
Yeah.
She nods, pleased, and again gestures you guys towards the tables laden with refreshments. Oh my. Oh
No
my, oh
touchy.
my, oh my.
No touchy. We don't know if she's a triad member or not. Do not touch that.
Don't
touch it. No
but
touchy.
This little cakes. Little cakes. I don't know if you guys ever watched the show Magicians, but it's like, there's little cakes.
Is it is casting detect magic very loud or obvious?
You can try to
Not
be
if you
subtle.
can use it as an innate arcane ability like I can.
Okay, because I have a innate arcane spell for that.
Okay.
So I do have
What is it?
detect magic.
Okay.
But innate.
There is a faint magic about the room. You would guess it's just like old warding spells and stuff that are beginning to fade, built into the permastructure, you know what I mean, that kind of thing. But there's nothing in the food, nothing in the furniture. There's no glyph that appears freshly laid on the back of the door.
Yeah,
You know.
have you thought about getting your observation?
cross is this
Yeah.
sigil.
Your observation's really outdated. Have you ever thought about getting that fixed up there? I know a guy.
She leaves you guys alone, and but no one wants to touch the food.
Albert, this new stuff
I will.
is
I will.
amazing.
I will touch the food. I will open up my alchemical kit and I will test it for poison.
He brings out the full Bill Nye.
Okay. Neuros, are you partaking in refreshments?
No, I have the substance that was given to me by my cousin Albert.
Okay. So
And
you just
I'm
keep
currently
going.
embedding in this. This doesn't have mushrooms. You know how I get when there's mushrooms in it.
Yeah, it's a fine mushroom puree. Total. Of course not.
What?
Of course not. I would. I know you, cousin. I would never, ever in a
Because
million years.
when I was a
eat you
dwarf and I ate a mushroom, I blacked out for a week.
And Noam shatting himself with dwarven intensity is nothing anyone wants to recall at any given time. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Well,
right.
I won't be my problem.
Yeah, it's everybody's problem. Would you like to re-roll that fortitude check with your special hero point? Okay.
It'll be about
Glug.
180 degrees worth of a problem.
I'm actually interested in Gluglug's take on this. Remember, he's from the deep jungles of Maggot Expanse. Very forward-thinking, civilized, and very interacted with a lot of the merchants. And you know what I mean? Like, he's not some backwater rube. You know what I mean? He has his faith, and with that came a very forward education. But Gluglug has not experienced the world the way you guys have. So Kintargo was a big blast. Even Breach Hill was a big blast for him. And now we are inside an elvish structure, because I don't think we actually took him to the Elven Church, with little elvish lemon cakes and fine china and all this stuff, you know. And he's like, he takes up an entire divan by himself. Divan is the French Renaissance. Yeah.
Not a duvet.
Doug knows what that is, but Glug doesn't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like why is the back of this chair sloped down to one side when you really need the back to be high for both? You know, its left cheek's hanging over the back. What is this? What is this crap?
My left
That's where you
cheek's
put your
always
wallet.
hanging over the back.
No, just a moment with Glug. I'm just curious what your take on this or what you're doing.
So if anybody else eats, he would probably eat out of sort of a peer pressure curiosity. But since everybody is being suspicious about the food, he's not going to be the one that, you know,
Okay.
just shrugs. He's going
Well-
to play along.
Vicar is sort of sweating and nervously drinking his own stuff. Neuros is scoffing at the food and having a conversation with Alll. All's like, crumpling up cookies and stuff into a little vial and watching it fizz, nodding, yes and no.
I'll wait. I'll wait till Albrecht is done, and if he gives me a little, then I might eat one.
I checked
It's
the
mostly
check
not
in there.
poisonous.
Yeah. He destroys a crumpet, but then tells you it's okay to eat. And here's some crumbs. All right.
It should be fine if you're a dwarf.
You don't seem to find any poison.
And this is why we roll in the tower.
I don't see any perception or crafting checks in the oh, here we go. Albrecht.
Crafting check in.
I know. Yeah. No, you don't.
What was that, Jeff?
You can't say it. Yeah.
I can't, he did a better job. I don't think I could do a good job tonight. We'll give that what Matt said. What Matt said. He did really well. That was very well
Where's
done.
your stuff as armor? It makes it harder.
I shrug and pick up one of the treats and pop it in.
Okay.
Yeah. Give me a fortitude, reflex, and will save.
Yeah. You immediately explode.
Does your
ya.
culture have any incredibly sweet, rich, or incredibly tart tasting edibles?
Oh,
Or are you a world of salt and jerky? Like you,
You got all sorts of kinds of edibles around here, my friend.
yeah, the Grippleys aren't far from your encampment. I forgot about those guys. Only the
We
best,
have these
my man.
We have these gummies. They're great. Oh my god!
The cool part is that they actually dance during the gummy bear
And they're in
song
little.
into your
They're
mouth.
little people-shaped gummies.
Oh yeah. So whenever Glug Glug is taking the Bible thumping or his guard duty too serious, needs to meddle, they're like, "Here's your field rations, buddy. Eat these before you start your shift." He calms
I'm
right
a
down.
Gummy bear.
Hey man,
I'm a gummy
who's going
bear.
there? Hey man, who's going there?
He's talking to the trees and shit.
You
All
just
right.
get me.
I lightly snack. Put my kid
Okay.
away.
Amid all this, or just at the end of this scene that I was desperate to try to picture and wanted you guys, paint a picture for the audience. Glug Glug's making fortitude saves 40.
Proud show.
He
Strong show.
eats all the mushroom-laden foods on the table. Is that,
umami!
I don't know what that.
It was
I
like a
don't-
competition. Hi.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, is that a challenge?
I didn't hear
I
no
think
challenge.
I'm getting the perception at this time that everything between them is a challenge, and all it takes is
Yeah.
eye contact. One person eats,
Yeah.
the other person eats, they make eye contact.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They do
You're
not
all
make
wrong.
eye contact.
He
Yes,
has
but-
deciphered the code.
We have already established that if Neros participates in this particular mushroom-laden challenge, everyone will lose. In the end.
No,
Right.
there's only 180
Or we all
degrees
win.
worth of losing.
All right. Neuros, grabbing your attention
Yeah.
away from the Orcs challenge. Flanked by two half-elf girls.
I'm flanked.
A graceful... He tumbles in between them. Shove. Flanking. I've saved you, mistress. Those half-elves almost had you. Because that's not racist. I'm sorry. It played in my head. I really need to spend more time editing myself out of this podcast. Damn. All right.
Okay, I'm a dwarf first. I apologize. That's my ancestry showing.
Flanked by two half-elven girls. This graceful woman is the image of
This
Elgin.
graceful woman?
This
Graceful woman. Okay.
graceful woman.
My bad.
Disgraceful.
Disgraceful.
They make her sound out like she's all like robed and stuff,
That?
but check out this woman is a
Okay.
little badass. Is badass. Like
Wait, quick question. Does she walk in like that?
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Like if I see sparks from a sword tip, I mean...
well,
That's an attitude. There's a lot of attitude there.
I think the,
The
picture
name
will
of her
make
sword
more
is
sense.
Two Half-Elven Girls. Sorry, I'm sorry.
You're not.
Anyways, yeah.
She, dressed in flowing silken robes with a delicate pattern of grapevines. She sports an elaborate silver diadem atop smooth scarlet hair that falls past her waist. Stepping noiselessly in delicate slippers, her hands clasped, she nods politely. So obviously the picture I throw up is battle mode because it does not match.
King of Fur says that she looks just like a Magic the Gathering card.
She really does, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
her name?
She's got
She's ready to just. Yeah,
Madame
she's got scrolls that will destroy
Madame-
like a city.
Docur.
Yeah, well, hang on.
Excusez-moi.
Stepping noiselessly in delicate slippers, her hands clasped, she nods politely and says, "When troubles come, they come not singularly." She remarks with a slight smile. "How can I help you?"
Merle's.
Do you have a looser pair of pants?
Dude.
Get out. And the orcs ejected. They show the side of the building and one of the 5 doors open. Ah!
I just, I am trained in diplomacy, and you wouldn't think that with my mouth, would you?
Oh.
We want to challenge our players by having them play something that doesn't grind well with the player. You know.
Set down the little saucer with the biscuit that I had on it that I was gingerly chewing on.
No,
And-
you go
and
to set
look-
down the saucer. Meros picks up the biscuit that was on it and eats it as you set it down.
He eats the saucer.
No, he puts his hand out. He puts his hand out flat on the table, like as you put it down, and just pulls it back over. You know? Yoink.
Seems legit. That's me, Rose.
All right.
And the most delicately eats it.
I stand and bow politely.
All right.
Pardon my bluntness, milady. But, we've been running around town all day, putting out fires, so to speak. The Triad has infiltrated safe houses, and we were told to check them all. So,
I see.
is
Lady
everything good here?
Mialari. Lady Mialari is her name. Docur. So it's her name that's on the front of this place. I am Mialari Docur, and I am pleased that you have come, gentlemen, she says with a sweeping gesture. Sorry. Oh, holds up a finger, leans over, woofs down a cake, crumbs go everywhere, and reaches over and snatches Neros' homebrew, takes a swig, gives it back. Thank you. That's better. Right. Now,
Speaking in Dwarven.
would you prefer I address you in your more common tongue? But looking around, we only have one dwarf, not a multitude.
That's
An
true.
orc. Okay.
Though,
See, there you go. Hey, take a swoof of us. And I pull out
Yeah.
a flask from behind me. This is the family stuff. Now, only half a counter, if you know what you're doing.
She nods and takes a bit more, but then goes around the room. Something polite, small town for Vicar Niles, and catching the war paint that addresses Glug Glug, and takes a guess just at the garb, the materials used in the armor, slides a little Mwagi speech his way.
whoa.
What?
Get permission for that kind of thing.
That's our word.
Look, the multi-tongued demon. Ah!
What was the language?
The Garundi language for the Maggie
Garundi.
Expanse. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, like, in movies, right? Oh, it's charming. She says something polite. How about this? She uses a phrase. See, all I can see is something so racist where someone outside of your race, walks up to you and she is not your people. And she goes, what's that? Like, that's not how you make a diplomacy check.
Okay. I ran back. Not bad for a spear ears, I say in Gnomish.
She takes your retort in stride. But
I reply to her in Elvish.
yeah. Oh, speak French. Come on, let's have the French accent now.
It's probably for the best that we speak in the common tongue. Not all of us are as fluent in languages as you and I are.
Seeming to past.
No, I like where we're going with this.
Vicar Niles just spits it out the side of his. He's drinking.
No. So we need to.
That's
we
the
need
part
to
of the
define...
dwarven ancestry that he got, the racism toward elves.
No. So now we need to define common, Gnomish, and Sylvan.
There you go. Seeming to have passed her sort of test of
She
what
must
you
have
guys
a low threshold.
No. with just sort of a back and forth to see if you're insulted if she leans into, a stereotype, which the gnome threw right back at her.
She just rolls in, throws a bunch of racial slurs our way in our own language to see how we react.
Not that bad, Otherwise, we don't want to set Neros off. All right, but
And he's got two different races that he can be offended by.
Right?
I could cuss your ancestors thrice wise.
I don't even
Family
speak Gnomish.
started.
I don't even speak Gnomish.
Let me raise them so that I can kill them again.
Raise them, but you can only raise them as 1d8 possible gnomes, Mr. Reincarnation.
Yep, that's fine by me.
All right. Seeming to earn her trust, but then she lets go of the sort of formality and lets you guys know that she's already been sent a missive, an advance word to vouch for you guys because you guys took the time to do the kite signaling and help the safe houses. The adventure rewards you and plays you forward, and you don't have to do a big role play and a 30 DC diplomacy check challenge to earn her trust as strangers. So delaying, playing into it, But I also like that if you were in a hurry, you could rush here and just try your hand. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, I really like how this adventure gives you guys options to do it your way, and there's still success depending on how you want to go about it. Just some are hard and yeah, but some are laden with dice rolls. Some are, if you play into the story, you usually get a break, right? They always try to lean you into the story stronger than just go your own way. But since the story doesn't know what you're going to do, here's some stiff dice rolls.
Location, or is this our third location? I can't remember. I thought there were three, weren't there?
You guys were on Kite Hill.
Yep.
Right.
And she said go check the safe houses and gave us locations.
We went to the first one and it was a warehouse and in the back room. So it was still in that warehouse that we found one of the rooms that the tiger people were in.
Oh, no, the coffee house and the tiger people are upstairs.
Yeah.
Right. And this is the second location.
So
it might not be three.
We went with them to a second location.
We'll get back to that. I believe it's just the two.
It could be my memory.
Or their people are checking out the third, kind of thing.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, GM and I'm probably audience are satisfied with this happy tangent roleplay of manners and back and forth. So she tells you that a few hours before you arrived, 3 members of the Scarlet Triad dared an ill-advised infiltration of my school. Fencing lessons were in session, and even with my students' blunted practice weapons, they were trained adequately enough to repulse the thugs, though seriously amateurish and hardly any threat. Perception, gentlemen. But nonetheless, we did capture them. I currently have them locked in an unused classroom and was deciding what to do with them until you arrived.
Give him over to the gnome.
Do you know what they would want with my school? That's our first question
Well, I
to
can
you.
find out.
Yes, interrogation is an acceptable option, as is arrest, she says. I wouldn't mind turning them over to the city's authorities, though I do know the
digest.
We have a history of doing that, turning over the people that we interrogate over to the city guards. We have a long history. We can be trusted.
Equally so, eating them.
The Silver Council is a little preoccupied. Disappearance, she says, picking up Nero's thing on eating them. If you don't have any interest in finding out more from them, I could make them disappear for good. And she just like waves her hand over the tray of treats.
And you feel hungry all of a sudden.
And if interrogation, arrest, or disappearance is not of your like, gentlemen, I could have my students lax accidentally in security, giving these agents a chance to escape, after which you could follow them back to whatever hiding place they might be using and find out more from them.
That could be.
I will
close.
leave. I will.
Albeck, she's smart. You could learn a thing from her.
So perception. No. Going off the other. Glug Glug rolls high enough to realize that she kind of downplayed how effective her students were, leaning on how like you fought Triad guys, they're not slouches. They're no match for us, but these guys are not slouches. But she heavily implies that whoever they sent here are a bunch of slouches. So it seems like she's downplaying how her tactical acumen and how well trained her students are. The rest of you guys pick that up, and on top of that, with this back and forth with her laying out options, she seems happy that not to get too involved. That, like letting you guys do the dirty work. If you guys leave, she'll make them disappear. If you guys insist they should be arrested, it'll be you guys holding them out front for arrest. Or she's gonna have you guys do it. Interrogation, walk in the classroom, have at them. Or, if you guys want to go hide somewhere, they don't know you're here, she can stage, an escape. And you guys can sneak after.
Does sound fun, doesn't it? I vote that one. I vote that idea.
Albeck, I have a moment.
Can we put a tracker on them?
Do you guys have any? There's magical
That's my
spells
question.
and stuff that do that, yeah.
No, I do not. Not right now, anyways.
Put the secret brewery ingredient in one of their pocket, and Neros can sniff them out like a pig in truffles, no matter where they are in the city.
It's little detectable farts all the
There
way
may be
across
something
the
that I
city.
could do alchemically, but I probably don't have the materials for it handily. How's everybody
Does
else?
seem like to not want to draw much of attention to herself.
To sweeten the deal, Mialari offers to position her students around Kintargo to provide surveillance and aid you, so that you guys, won't lose them so easily.
Okay. Do we want to interrogate even? Do we even want to bother? I mean,
We have 3. They can spare one.
Or if we just
It would be a good opportunity to provide for the optics that security was lax during interrogation.
Yeah, we should not
And-
see. Maybe they shouldn't see us. If we're going to
Yeah,
follow them,
if
then
we're
that
gonna
gives,
fol- if we're gonna follow
gives us a
them,
chance to. If they see one of us, we could try to be
Sorry.
act casual.
One of us
Joe,
is
you were
more
saying something?
mutable.
Oh, just what Doug said. Pretty much. So
You guys have got three votes for stage escape, one for interrogation. Is there merit in Ryan's idea that only he is seen by only one of them, so he can do, you know?
My forms are mutable.
He's good cop and wild shape bad cop. I mean,
yeah, he can change his shape to.
I have humanoids under my rank now. I'm gonna look like an elf.
oh, cut to this giant frog. I don't know what you want. It's just smacking him with the tongue. I don't know what you want. What is this?
Tell me what you know. Tell me what you know.
Well, the frog can't talk, right?
It's a big ribbit licking me.
It's the biggest familiar ever.
So yeah, there's 3 of them. I do think there is merit in his. Let's take one out, interrogate him. That one disappears. Or if you want to put them back together and have them all survive, I'm not against. You know,
Let one of them escape the Let 2 of them escape the interrogation.
So, Al, do you believe that would motivate the other? Bob didn't come back. Dude, you're next. Like, he never came back. We're next. Oh, look, there's a door open. Bye.
yeah,
Right.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I don't think you interrogate them all at the same time. I think that's dumb.
Oh.
You separate them. You pull one out of the group, and you interrogate it. You don't even have to worry about changing your form if you don't want to, because that guy is not going to be escaping, quote unquote.
No.
The other 2, however.
I will say, Matt, that's a good idea because it literally says you guys they're a little bit braver if you don't separate them. If you interrogated them as a group, a -2 penalty would apply to any of your skill checks because they're left together bolstering each other's morale.
Yeah. Exactly. Always thinking this one.
I would really like to make sure that we don't do anything lethal to these.
Okay.
People
Just so
who
you
are
know,
under-
he's going to have a drink.
You're
competition
not on
with me.
torture duty.
Yeah. Let's not get back
Hey,
into
look,
dark
there's some amazing
dark side
architecture
point.
you could check out in that direction.
I just, having someone helpless and tortured and or killed is something of an anathema to me. So just gonna lay it out there.
Fair. No, that's fair.
Yeah,
and
that's
to be honest, as long as Moros knows that will not be violated.
All right, because that goes twice.
That's true, because he's also
My
a champion.
moral compass is
I have
but I'm not.
I have an anathema as well too. I don't need to sleep with a roof over my head.
So we come to the decision that it's cool that one guy's interrogated as long as Neuros isn't the guy doing it.
No, as
Because
long
the only
as
way-
Neuros is the one doing it.
Oh, sure. Neuros is going to promise that he'll just come on, you guys have known him too long. You know, get carried away.
Moros' word is bond. You should know that by this point.
Well, the last guy left with authorities, as far as we know. So
I don't think any of us have a history of needlessly killing.
no, that's the halfling. not.
Yeah. So
So,
take the
He
one
was
away.
he was pretty intent if that guy moved in and she was going to off him because they're slavers and that's his anti.
no.
But the cleric and the champion's presence, we talked him down.
And
So how would you guys ensure? You're just going to accept him at his word, or would you guys lurk about and spy on the room or something to ensure that Neuros does not cross a line?
do you want to know how I intend to interrogate him?
No.
I
Right
do
now, I'm
trust
strictly
Neuros.
dealing with characters that, like, your
trust
cousin knows
Neuros.
you. Your cousin knows you, so Al might vouch for you. But like, Glug Glug knows you through blood and battle. Vicar knows you through drink and social, and I'm not implying that you won't or that you will, but. Like, honestly, guys, this is a good chance for you guys to dig into your own characters with the cleric and champion saying, no, like bad interrogation, hard interrogation with torture should not be on the table. I'm just asking those two players, are you happy with taking him at his word? I'm not applying anything. I'm just putting in your head that there's other options. You could hang around, you could watch. I'm not saying you're voyeurs, but, you could.
The chair.
for
That's a
my-
chair position.
For myself, it would just be take him as his word, and if something happens that proves that otherwise, then his word is no good anymore.
I trust Miros on that more than I do Albrecht, and I'm not trying to be rude, but
It's
Miros.
rude.
Okay.
No, I get it. You don't
Yeah.
trust
Not-
the mixy spelly dude.
Well,
no,
You do
yeah,
trust the dude that you've been having honorable competition with for the last however many months.
Honestly, though, I did talk to his god, though. I talked to both of their gods.
I gotta explain something to the audience. The guys are reacting the way they are because we recently were playing a different RPG that has a very strict moral code for all players, where they could be assigned points for evil intent and acts. And there was a bit of a discussion about, well, what and I am and my intent and yada yada yada, right? So coming away from that, for me to dump another moral dilemma and single out Ryan, who happened to be the base of the last one, is not my intent. This is a completely different game.
No,
it's
I
not.
trust Miros much more than.
But I like the idea of, for our fans that listen to all our shows, drawing a parallel. Here is a very interesting situation where morality comes into play. You know, now you have a school mistress who has overtrained sword-wielding half-elven female students.
Well, that's questionable as fuck to begin with.
And after some tea and cookies with Her Majesty, comes up with quite readily four, not off the top of her head, 4 solid ideas for you guys to put out. Can I have a social check from
Morals
everybody?
put this shit together already. He's like, no.
Yeah. Social in the tower.
Social in the tower.
Social in the tower.
Society. That's not the best one for me to roll.
Society.
Yeah. No, that's not the best.
Albric. It is Albric that makes the connection.
Society's
The-
intelligence?
Well, Alll and Niles roll high enough to know a little bit about this school. Lady Docur's School for Girls was founded by Lady Mialari Docur herself, and that it is now a haven for half-elves of wealthy but not aristocratic backgrounds. Its curriculum is considered exceptional in language, arts, world history, and music, and also quirky and somewhat impractical. Alll, with his crit success, knows that he has heard rumors of the school's secret connection to a spy network called the Lacunifex. And I'm going to put that...
Lacunifex.
Lacunifex. Well, the spy network may not be French. Just because she's in it, right? You're all French now because I'm part of this. Anyway, there is in
that's
both
French.
messages. Yeah, that's just. I will give it to you, Messina. That kind of looks French, but shouldn't assume.
Effects.
I don't know if we will forget this, so I will ask Alll this. Obviously, you can't mention it right now. We're here, but when we leave the building in the future, would you tell the party about this connection later?
Not the party, but I would possibly talk to our missing investigator about it.
Okay.
And you know what? Probably Vicar as well, but I wouldn't discuss it with Miros or Glug because that's just not the sort of.
That's fine.
Things
And
on a
correct.
more prime.
I just feel like 10 episodes down, to Ryan or Doug's credit, they're going to be like, wasn't there something about a spy network that I can't mention in character? Yes, why? Yes, there was. And you're allowed to do that as a player. That's the best part about the game. Player remembers everything. Drew's writing down notes for the whole
I
party.
wouldn't
He has nothing
intentionally
to do-
leave them out of the discussion,
All
but
right.
it's just probably not something that would come up in discussion with those two characters personally.
A 22 society check. And the guys got in their teens. Vicar got 27. You got 34. That's a crit. And crit rolls, extra knowledge given. I know I shouldn't really. I don't know if it's bad form just to smoothly work it in going, but I really like the fact that a crit roll in a certain skills we like, and you get such much interesting, more-ish information. Anyway, so happy for you.
So she's going to use her girls to keep an eye out on things. I do really enjoy the following them idea, but I also cannot think anything poorly of, well, we can still follow 2 of them. And
Okay.
Yep.
keep one for interrogation purposes, and then at the end of that, he can get turned into the
All right. Well,
guard
we
or
will
whatever.
get right into the interrogation in the next episode.